Are personal brands really the future anymore? This is a question that I just wrote down on my notebook and I wanted to create a video on because there's an inherent problem in the short term, but also the long term that I haven't really thought about that just hit me that I don't think enough people are talking about. If you don't know who I am, my name is Brennan. I'm a marketing lead for an agency that is, well, working with a couple clients, and one of the main clients I'm working with is doing over 100K per month in revenue. And so I really kind of make these videos daily, try to do two every day, and hopefully to just share my thoughts, kind of my mindset, everything I'm learning on my marketing journey because I've been at this for 3 years and distill it down into a video like this. And so one of the first things I wrote down for a topic I wanted to talk about today was, are personal brands really the future anymore? And on the surface level, people, I mean, you can see a lot of videos, a lot of people out there. I mean, there's a video I think or a post going around about Kai Cenat pushing out the streamer University, which if you don't know who Kai Cenat is, he's a popular Twitch streamer, one of the most popular ones. I mean, you can go on YouTube and search up and really see videos from a lot of these gurus and creators and these really consultants saying you need to start a personal brand in 2026. You need to start a personal brand in this year because it's the best it's going to get and it's only going to get better. And they're so bullish. They're so optimistic on the future, which, hey, I mean, it's a job. Obviously, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of benefits to it. But let's think about this logically here. If everyone is becoming a quote unquote content creator, I saw a report, I think on Instagram the other day, where it's saying Gen Zs are now quitting a lot faster in jobs if they feel like it's affecting their mental health, which every job is going to have that. But with that as well, they're seeing a lot of people are trying to go towards creating a personal brand, which obviously that's where a lot of us have grown up in. A lot of us who are Gen Z and younger has been living through this YouTube era, TikTok era, and seeing, oh, this must be the good life. Now, short term, I see an inherent problems. Everyone's trying to do it. There's obviously a barrier to entry here. Barrier to entry mean there's a lot of time that goes with it, a lot of energy, and obviously, as we go more and more online, people are just gonna find their niches that they're gonna grow up in, and that's great. But it's becoming less and less valuable. And the same rate, if we start to include AI in this, how far are we going to get to the point if everyone's trying to become a personal kind of personal brand, trying to create their own personal brands? How bad is it when we go to get into the AI where they have AI copies? Now, granted, we are kind of there, but what if when more so when we get to the point when we have celebrities across all our pages are now just AI, who's to say they're not already are AI, and they're just ahead of the curve, where the credibility is just going to go just out of the window. Because if content creators can just be replaced by AI, no face or faceless YouTubers, Mr. Beast can be replaced with AI, all these people can be replaced with AI. And that's the short term. If you look at even the long term of this, where we start to see that long term case, all everything online, can you really be an expert in information if AI is taking everything practically on the internet and anything that's what you say it's new that has never been conceived of yet, and someone just does it for the first time, now it's getting ingested into the hierarchy of information. If information is going to be faster and faster and faster, and there's going to be the pretty much an answer for everything, which we're almost to the point with. I mean, argued we are there. Someone could say, then is there really going to be a weight to having information with all these content creators to having this personal brand that gives you that edge? And the answer I came to was just initially the conclusion I came to was no. With all these people who have all this information, who might be ahead of the curve, who might have that kind of intellectual edge, in terms of knowing information, that AI is just not there yet. There's only a matter of time that it's going to really understand and really apply it better. And so, really, if the internet is going towards this exactly, where you can't have an edge, you won't really have an edge in the future. There's going to be all just AI creators who's going to have, and I said this in that previous video, but the future where basically everything is going to be in terms of scripting and everything is going to be to a T. It's going to be so precise in the language. The exact words are going to be exactly right at the exact same moment. But it's like, if it's going to be exactly the right script, is it really going to hit as well if we're starting to see that it's kind of mass produced and it's just hitting all the right boxes, all the right um, points at the right times? Is it really going to have that weight if we're going to keep on seeing that repeatedly? And my answer is probably no. It probably isn't. And so I made the argument that if we're going to, in the future, if we're starting to see this shift where people want the in person connection, and maybe the future might be more this kind of off the cuff conversation I'm having right now, maybe that is the future, then that would be interesting. But I'm not 100% bullish or 100% convinced that that's the case, because off the cuff doesn't necessarily mean, though, that you put as much time into thinking about what your words are going to be. You're not really in the weeds as much, which AI will just completely strip away that creativity. So that's where I land on the point. What I put on my notepad here is that if this is the case, if the internet, if everything online is really going to be the future, then is really status really only going to be important when it's in person? Now, the argument, just thinking about that now, is the fact that, okay, if we're all going online, then we're probably going to interact online, rightfully so, in theory. But if everything online is AI'd, everything, even your credibility, is going to be replaced, and all the information, you're not really to have an edge, then everything online is just going to be there. It's just going to be facts. It's just going to be fact based, etc. Then, if the only really difference with that, if you don't really have an edge, then my thought came to be, then the only way you will have status is in person. And maybe that's because, and the only way you really get that is, yes, maybe information might be good, but everyone can have information like that. I think it would be more the entrepreneurial kind of, like, the push creativity, like to have creativity and to be pushing it and innovation. That's really going to keep the status that you have. And that's only going to really be really heavy or really relevant in person. And so that goes to the concept of the barrier to entry, is that's the barrier to entry to now. It's no longer information. Anyone can pull information in. Anyone can make kind of assessments really relatively easily with confidence with AI in the future. And so the barrier to entry is really just going to be that. Because if we think about what makes all these companies really unique, and Peter Thiel said it in his 0 to 1 book, is every company has their kind of secret. They all have this secret that they have behind, and that's what makes them so unique, is they know something that other people don't. And so with this, if the barrier to entry is information, it goes practically to zero. And then, yeah, if information, your edge, practically goes to zero, and then everything can be searched up an instant, goes to like the difficulty of finding that and really getting that goes to zero, then what else do you have left? Because that's what creates all these things, all these separations with different brands, different companies, different solutions, is there's not a direct answer, or there's not a direct solution for what you're looking for. And so at that point, the only barrier to entry would be stuff that is probably more in person, that takes energy, time, effort, and just difficulty, because all that stuff removes that difficulty. So really, it's really the in-person stuff. So maybe becoming more charismatic, but honestly, that might be in the future really replace charismatic. Maybe working out, which there might be stuff again for that as well, where you can get fit, and then now that's not really as special because that scarcity is no longer there. And so that's where the barrier to entry comes into play, is that difficulty of it. If it's difficult, then that's going to create scarcity, and because not everyone has it is what makes it valuable. And that's the whole argument here, is it goes back to, if the future is that, then where are we in the future with personal brands? And so that's something I don't really have an answer to. And I don't know if this really made sense, and this is kind of just more off the cuff, just me thinking out loud here. But it's one I think should be really heavily considered, because everyone's kind of bullish on this. But is it too late? Is it because now everyone's talking about it that it's too late? And I don't really like the terms of like it's black or white. There's definitely is a gray area. And like even when I was watching a Twitch streamer, I think, what was it? Was it today or yesterday? I just pulled it up, and I was like, this is just kind of stupid. And I mean, this was all like respect and everything, because I wanted to be a Twitch streamer, and I mean, I still have a slight urine, but in general, I'm like, she like this Twitch streamer, she was playing like some, I think like some game, I don't know, but I just hopped on for like a minute because I saw she had like 5K views, and I was just like for different people, and basically she was like, "Oh, thank you for the sub, thank you for the 5 subs, thank you for this, thank you for that, thank you for all this," and she was just going for like a straight minute of all the people, and I'm like, dude, I'm like, this is great for like maybe like they probably make a lot of money right now, but I'm like, what is the future of this? Is really the future of them, and that goes to a bigger thing I've thought about, is what is really the future, if that's information, if I'm speaking just logically business in terms of information, giving more information as a business. I haven't really addressed the entertainment side. Is entertainment still kind of going to be the same though with personal brands, where because humans really rely on the emotional part. They look for the emotive kind of just reaction. When I look at like the Twitch streamers that really get the most views, it's always they have some over the top reactions, and they kind of built their personal brands on that. And there's always drama or conflict or some high stakes or high emotions every single time. You look at the top streamers, and they always have that. And so I'm thinking, if AI is going to be the future and they're going to be able to replicate a lot of the motions, then is that going to replace it? Because a Twitch streamer right now is capped to the amount of hours they can go without sleep. Now you have to factor in sleep. You have to factor in the time to plan all this different stuff. You have to factor in having to go to the bathroom, showering, any additional stuff, family, everything there, everything here is that. And so when you don't even consider this stuff, it's like it's entertainment going to replace. Well, obviously animation's already like Flash. I think is completely out of the window now. Um, it's it's an interesting point, and like I said, I don't necessarily have an answer to it, but I think it's one definitely I'd like to hear others' opinions on, because it's very interesting to think about that stuff. So that's the video for today, and I think my next one is going to be content pieces or billboards. So that's more marketing related. Obviously, this is kind of marketing, but it's a little philosophical. I want to say philosophical, but more just I think long term in terms of just where we are going as a society. And so I kind of bounce between different things because it's just what I'm thinking, but I also feel like you shouldn't box yourself in, because I feel like AI is kind of blurring the lines now of being specialized in one area. It's starting to where you want to become more of a full stack person. And that's, I mean, that could be a whole nother video, but another time, another place. Anyways, that'll be the next piece. Thank you for watching if you made it all the way through. And if you have any stuff you want to add to this conversation, I would love to hear it. See you in the next one.